Timothy speaks up, his voice young but earnest. But Paul, does this mean we should not judge one another at all? Should we not hold one another accountable? No, Paul says gently, turning to the young man with affection. That is not what I am saying, though I understand how you might think so. We are called to discern, to encourage, to correct one another in love, but we must do so with humility, knowing that we ourselves are being judged by God, that we ourselves are fallible, that we ourselves see only in part. The Corinthians have forgotten this. They judge harshly, they boast, they divide themselves into camps based on who baptized them or whose teaching they prefer. This is the disease that afflicts them. Paul stands and begins to walk slowly around the courtyard, and you follow, with Timothy trailing behind. His movements are deliberate, measured, as though he is gathering his thoughts, preparing to speak something that cost him greatly. I want you both to understand something about apostleship, Paul says. The world sees us, the apostles, as a spectacle, a show. Do you understand what that means? You shake your head, and Timothy does the same. It means we are like gladiators in an arena, Paul says, his voice taking on an edge of irony. The world watches us, judges us, finds us either worthy of admiration or worthy of scorn. And we are fools for Christ's sake. We are weak when the world values strength. We are poor when the world values wealth. We are despised when the world values honor. Paul stops beneath the olive tree and looks up at its gnarled branches, twisted by centuries of wind and sun. Paul continues, the Corinthians look at me and see a man who is not as eloquent as Apollos, not as commanding as Peter, not as educated by their standards. They wonder why I work with my own hands, making tents, laboring like a common craftsman. They are ashamed of me. You sense the pain beneath his words, but also something else, a strange kind of peace, as though he has made peace with this shame. Paul, you ask quietly, are you ashamed? Does their shame wound you? Paul turns to you, and a smile, sad and beautiful, crosses his face. No, he says, I am not ashamed, for I know whom I have believed, and I am convinced that he is able to guard what I have entrusted to him. But the Corinthians, they are still learning. They still measure success by the world's standards. They still believe that status and eloquence and wealth are signs of God's favor. This is the blindness that I speak of. Timothy ventures a question. But Paul, you do have authority, do you not? You do speak with power. Is this not a kind of status? Paul's expression grows thoughtful. Yes, my son, you ask a good question. I do speak with authority. Yes, I correct and command, but this authority does not come from my eloquence or my education or my status in the world. It comes from Christ. It comes from the fact that I have been entrusted with the mysteries of God. The authority belongs to Christ, not to me. I am merely the vessel through which it flows. You press further, sensing there is more to understand. Tell me about your suffering, Paul. You speak of being hungry, thirsty, poorly clothed. Is this truly your life? Paul's expression grows distant, and you realize that you have touched upon something very real, very raw. Come, he says, gesturing for you both to sit again. I will tell you. You settle back onto the stone bench, and Paul sits beside you with Timothy on his other side. His voice, when he speaks, is steady but tinged with sorrow. When I came to Corinth, he begins, I came alone. I had been driven out of Thessalonica, persecuted in Berea, mocked in Athens. I arrived here with nothing but the clothes on my back and the gospel in my heart. I found Aquila and Priscilla, fellow tent makers, and I worked with them. Every day, I would labor at the loom, my hands blistering, my back aching, and then in the evenings, I would preach and teach. He holds up his hands, and you see the calluses, the scars, the evidence of years of manual labor. Timothy reaches out and gently touches Paul's weathered palm, his young face filled with reverence and sorrow. The Corinthians see this, Paul continues, and they are troubled by it. In their world, a teacher of great wisdom would not work with his hands. A man of status would not labor like a slave. But I chose this path deliberately. I did not want to be a burden to the church. I did not want people to say that I preached the gospel for money, for personal gain, for status. But surely, you protest gently, surely the church would support those who labor in teaching and preaching. Surely you deserve to be cared for. Yes, Paul agrees, and I have taught this. The laborer is worthy of his wages, but I also have the right to waive my rights, to work with my own hands, to provide for myself. And in doing so, I give an example. I show that the gospel is not about personal advancement, not about securing a comfortable life, not about gaining status or wealth. Do you see the difference? Timothy speaks thoughtfully. You are showing them that the gospel is worth more than comfort, more than security, more than status. Yes, Paul says, placing his hand on the young man's shoulder. You understand. This is what I am trying to teach them, not through words alone, but through my life, through my choices, through my willingness to suffer. You sit with this for a moment, letting it settle into your understanding, and then you ask, Paul, you speak of weakness and foolishness, yet you also speak with such authority. You correct the Corinthians, you give them commands, you tell them how to live. Is this not a kind of power? Is this not a kind of status? How do you reconcile these things?